So I am super excited this morning because I just found Gotu Kola, Centella asiatica, growing in my backyard. And let me show you what that looks like, because we have a couple of different plants that it can easily be confused of. So let's take a look. Here it is, and I am so excited. So, okay, one of the ways you can know this plant pretty easily is it grows, if you look, almost in like a line. So the roots for it are underground, and it's like growing almost on like runners, and it puts the little leaves up off of the stalks that are underground. So that's a really good way to know. Like if you look and you see it growing in a line, that's a pretty good clue. The leaves are, well, this one is really round, but I've often also seen it look more like a spade. A lot of times the edges will have these little serrations, and this little one, I mean, they're really pokey and pointy. But when you look at the attachment of the leaf to the petiole, which is this stem of the leaf right there, it attaches in this little indentation right there. Other plants like dollarweed, it's more like an umbrella. It will not be attached at the indentation in the little cut-in. So that's how you can tell Gotu Kola from dollarweed and other lookalikes. This little one, and you can see how much smaller it is. This is Carolina pony's foot, or Dichondra carolinensis. And if you look, it doesn't have the same edges. So the edges are smooth generally. There might be like a little bit, but it doesn't have the spikiness of the Gotu Kola, and it's much, much smaller. And I find it tends to grow more in like a mat. So here's dollarweed, now hydrocodal species. So this is what I was telling you about. It looks almost like a little, if you think of it as like an umbrella, the petiole, the stem of the leaf, is connected to the center of the circle. It's almost always a complete circle, and there is some little serration on the edges of the leaf, but again, total circle. And it can get pretty big too. It also, much like the ponyweed, will grow in a huge mat. Okay, so this little beauty right here, this is Gotu Kola. And you can see, even from this far away, you can see that the leaf is kind of round, and you can see that cut in that I mentioned that is really kind of one of the hallmarks that it's that plant. Gotu Kola is amazing for brain stuff. I love to encourage my clients that are having memory issues or any kind of brain issues. I just like this plant. It's one that I've had a lot of success with, especially for people with traumatic brain injuries. But it's also really well known for helping to restore connective tissue. And it kind of makes sense, right? If you think about it, it's growing in that runner under the ground, and it pops its little leaves up. So it really likes getting in there into places where there's tissue and help reconnecting the system and helping with the skin as well. It typically likes growing in wet areas, which my yard has been absolutely soaked this year. Even though we haven't had a lot of rain lately, the ground in my yard holds a lot of water. So that is probably why this one is suddenly popping up. But it's such a cool find out here, because usually we only see it in wetlands and like ditches and swampy areas.